Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Catalyst webinar series presented by the Education Committee for the Southern California PGA. The Catalyst webinar series is a weekly educational platform for creating success and change in your club and career. Good morning, everyone. This morning, I am the presenter. My name is John Kulow. I am the Education Chair for the Southern California section of the PGA. I'm also the General Manager at Monterey Country Club in Palm Desert. This morning, we're going to be talking about the online educational opportunities for 2021, more concretely speaking, the first quarter of 2021. The online educational opportunities that we have rolling at the moment, many of you know, as you are looking at the attendee list for this morning, longtime supporters of the Catalyst webinar series. The Catalyst webinar series is, as I said in the introduction, it's a weekly educational platform for PGA members to tap into routinely, regularly, to stay plugged in with relevant, varietal, convenient, and easy access MSR education points, at the same time staying abreast with hot topics, experiencing wisdom, experiences, and insight from many of the industry's top leaders and influencers. President Shelton has expressed a interest in us taking the Catalyst webinar series historically from a bi-weekly educational opportunity to a weekly educational opportunity, which we did for the majority of 2020, but that is our modus operandi for 2021, making sure that PGA members from the comforts of their workstations and offices have access to MSR opportunities that don't require travel and don't require any money up front. In order to fulfill such a calendar, we are looking to expand beyond the expertise of the PGA itself, looking to get individuals and professionals and influencers from the hospitality and tourism industry, hotels, restaurant operations, and different avenues of the customer service world to come on and help the section pick up valuable insight in terms of perfecting our crafts. The second part of our presentation is going to be focused on educating you all as to the nature and the focus of the Launchpad educational series available to level 1 apprentices. Largely in part to get you, the PGA professional on this webcast, to promote the Launchpad to the level 1 associates that you know. We all know many in this business, whether they work for us or they work at clubs that we're familiar with, where level 1 apprentices, as we all know, we have the vast majority of the associates in our section are level 1 associates, and many of which are approaching the deadline for suspension. And many of us can also attest to the fact that when we went through the program, level 1 is definitely the hump in the 3 levels. Once an associate gets through level 1, the odds and the chances and the percentages of them making it to PGA membership are very, very good. Unfortunately, prior to that, they're not very good. So the purpose of the Launchpad webinar series, as created originally through the section, and then has been revamped through the leadership of Jeff Johnson, challenging myself and Tom Sun to reignite the Launchpad webinar series, develop a curriculum of freshly PGA membered associates that have gone through the program, and the material is relevant and fresh for them, recruiting them and getting them to commit to a classroom series over an 8 or 9 week period. And then the onus falls on the education committee and PGA members alike to promote the Launchpad, to get associates to get on there and help them stay accountable to completing the work. The third part of our catalyst this morning is going to be talking about the mentorship program, which has been running in the San Diego chapter, thanks to Tom's son and many others, now is beginning to take on legs of its own on the section level, and very excitingly, beyond the section level into District 11 and even the Southwest section of the PGA, to really focus on that hand-in-hand relationship. As you know, so many things in the professional, personal, and spiritual world that the mentorship agreement between a one-on-one relationship of teacher and instructor has benefits that span beyond just an individual going through a series of online portals or them being on their own in their professional element. Having a mentor many times is the difference maker. And I think all of us members on the webcast this morning can attest to the fact that had it not been for a mentor or mentors in our life, professionally, spiritually, and personally, we would not be the people we are today, and we will not have experienced the successes and the happinesses that we have experienced without those mentors in our life. So that one-on-one personal relationship many times is the difference maker, and that the mentorship program also filters back into the Launchpad and can also filter back into the Catalyst webinar series as well. So when we look at each of these, we're looking at each program's purpose, their missions, and in order to grow these programs and see them be successful, we are going to need to look at them from a measurable and quantifiable standpoint to see if they're successful. So, getting right into it. All of these programs, the Catalyst webinar series, the Launchpad Associates Level 1 Work Experience workshops, and the mentorship program are all derivatives of the SoCal Sections Education Committee. These three online educational opportunities, even though the mentorship is beyond that, the mentorship program is well beyond that, but they're all subcategories of the Sections Education Committee. The Sections Education Committee mission statement is to provide educational opportunities for the business, vocational, and career objectives of PGA members and associates. That is the mission statement of the Education Committee. Within that, we get right into the catalyst. All right, the purpose of the catalyst, the why. The Catalyst webinar series has, even before COVID, was a wonderful opportunity for, if you think about what MSR life was like prior to the Catalyst and other online educational opportunities like the Catalyst, you know, and I've said this story before. How do 90% of PGA members prior to online educational opportunities, how do they go about getting their MSR certification? And unfortunately, you know, I was guilty of this same practice. You know, you got a 3-year cycle in the MSR, 3-year long time period to get your qualified points. And what happens is the first 2 years you don't do anything, or you do minimal, and then in that 3rd year, under the gun of, you know, Class F suspension, you run around all over the place. You travel inordinately. You pay a bunch of money. You go to a bunch of places. You blitzkrieg a bunch of education. You get minimal out of it. Costs an arm and a leg, and you get your qualifications, and then you go into the next 3-year MSR cycle and you do the same thing over again. 2 years of basically nothing, and then 1 year of you know, a mad dash to get them all in. the wonderful thing about the Catalyst webinar series is it doesn't cost anything. It's convenient. You can get to it routinely from the comforts of your workstation or your office. And regardless of the content of each Catalyst webinar, which we'll get into that in a second, it's the routine acquiring of MSR education points is just a better way to go about a member's education. You know, it's a weekly dose. It keeps it relevant. It keeps it in the forefront of a member's mind. And you look at the quantifiables and the measurables thus far in 2020, and I'm sure it's going to improve in 2021. PGA members acquiring their MSR points are better in the last year than they've ever been. And of course, you know, COVID has a lot to do with that because, you know, a lot of us have more time on our hands. And but be that as it may, the accessibility of these programs are making the difference in that general attitude about MSR point acquiring. The idea was this program was started 5 years ago by the likes of Robin Shelton and Rob Osterhaus, deriving from the section, of course. The idea was to promote the Catalyst on the Southern California section level, but when I got involved in it, the idea was to grow it in terms of introducing the medium and the practice to other sections in the country in the hopes that they would start their own. And I kind of stumbled about this looking for candidates to present, having been a New Mexico State PGM grad and ties to the Southwest section, reaching out to different PGA members and influencers in the Southwest section as a means of getting them to come on and promote and present on the Catalyst. The idea was after that, hey, this is what we're doing in the SoCal section, and you guys can do it in the Sun Country, as well. Well, what has happened is that hasn't taken off quite as it should, but through the wonderments of YouTube and the way that we do the Catalyst in the Southern California section, a presenter comes on, we hook everybody, we promote it through email registration. Everyone logs on as you did this morning. They watch the presenter's PowerPoint. The presenter presents the material. It gets recorded, and then we upload it to the SCPGA YouTube page. And then from there, it moves on to our SCPGA.com landing page. And then any PGA member can access it at that point, go through the presentation, the hour-long presentation, and then take the quiz at the end and get MSR points for it, even if it's something that has happened, you know, after the fact. So not only is the Catalyst convenient, accessible from a live every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock standpoint, it's also available at any time for PGA members to access truly at their own convenience to pick up that MSR education and stay abreast with what's going on in the industry. And the Catalyst truly wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for the efforts and the networking of, you know, the great Tom Addis and the people that he knows in this business. And, you know, I mean, me cold calling Susie Whaley or Seth Waugh, trying to get them to come on the Catalyst may or may not be as successful as Tom having a relationship with them and him introducing us to them and influencing them to come on the Catalyst. And the people that he knows and the experiences that he's picked up in his travels are really the proof is in the pudding, and the success of the Catalyst is truly attributed to the people that he knows and the promoting that he's done for the Catalyst along the way. So thank you, TA, for that. The mission, so the purpose, the why of the Catalyst is to provide PGA members with regular, relevant, and online educational opportunities. The mission, which is, you know, the how, to seek out industry leaders and influencers to present on the webcast, for them to come on for either a presentation or to actually be interviewed, so that we, the members of SoCal section, could ascertain their ideas, experiences, and wisdoms, and their expertise, that we may better arm ourselves with the knowledge that may aid us in growing the game. So how is the success of the Catalyst measured? I mean, what's the quantifiables? What's the measurables? Well, attendance. Attendance is definitely on the rise. Since we went from a bi-weekly format to a weekly format, we've seen attendance straight up double. So we've got 26 attendees on today. We had 36 registered. This same event, I have no doubt, 2 years ago would have probably had about 16 on there. So the routine occurrence, it's the same thing when I used to be the GM at La Mirada Golf Course, and the men's senior club would play on the first, second, and fourth Wednesday of the month. So on the third Wednesday of the month, we would just get destroyed because the regular golfing public would stay away because of the notion that, well, the seniors are always there on Wednesdays. There's one day a month that they're not there. No one really knows what Wednesday that is, so people just stay away. So the Wednesday that you don't have the seniors, you end up taking a bath on the tee sheet. So moving those guys to an every other week format, and then getting your general public to learn that routine, that the first and the third Wednesday is open. We saw outside rounds quadruple during those Wednesdays, because people got into the habit of knowing that every other week was good to go, and in the Wednesdays and the off weeks were not good to go. So it's the routine of it all, and I believe that that's a big factor in the Catalyst growth, is the fact that it's there every week. You don't have to know that it's on the odd weeks or the even weeks. It's every Thursday, 8 o'clock. There's a new presenter, and an opportunity to pick up some insight and gain some valuable MSR points at the same time. So the quantifiables and the measurables. Attendance. Attendance has doubled. Member feedback has been very, very supportive, and especially in the appreciation of the Catalyst webinar series, certainly since COVID has escalated. And just looking at the MSR growth, and the fact that there are more PGA members are close to or have achieved their MSR credentials during the 3-year cycle at this point than historically ever before. So also, ladies and gentlemen, as the routine administrator of the Catalyst webinar series, one of my jobs when I'm not presenting, which is every week, is to monitor the question box and determine whether or not it's a relevant time to interject with a question for the presenter. Please, at any time, I'm looking at that question box. If you've got a comment or a concern or even a statement, please feel free to fire that into the question box. Since I am the presenter this morning, I will stop and answer the questions. And would love to hear the interaction and the participation from the attendees on, and that also goes for the panelists who are also on this morning's webcast, Mr. Johnson, Nikki, TA, and Tom Sun. I will be turning it over to Tom Sun at the tail end of this, because he will be, he's the champion for the mentorship program, and he's excited to speak to us all about that. So moving on from the Catalyst, there we go. On to the Launchpad. The Launchpad, super exciting. It's been revamped by Jeff Johnson. He reached out to myself and Tom Sun about 8 months ago and said, we've got this situation with level 1 associates, and we want to see what we can do as a section to improve the success rate of level 1 associates getting through that level 1 hump. So Eric used to do the Launchpad in years past, and then Eric's no longer part of our section, and it kind of went dormant. So Jeff, geniusly so, reached out to us and asked us to champion it and to revamp it and develop a curriculum and go about bringing it back and providing that opportunity for level 1 associates. Well, we did that. We laid it out in the fall, and we reached out to newly elected members of the section, individuals that had recently or freshly gone through the program, and the work experience kits were fresh with them, and we asked them to come on and be instructors and proctor presentations on a weekly basis, book by book, going through the level 1 work experience kits, preparing PGA associates for level 1 work experience kit submission and ultimately level 1 testing. So we reached out to a group of individuals who are, many of which are still with us now, that we're going to do a second Launchpad series this spring, which is starting on Monday, February 15th, 2 weeks from now. We'll be going through the level 1 work experience kit again in weekly succession, Mondays at 4 p.m. And again, the quantifiables and the measurables are to see it grow from the fall series. So it's a two-part deal. We get the right people who are fresh, and the material is newly acquired. They had just gone through it themselves. They're willing to put together a presentation on the activities, book by book, and we lay out a curriculum. We promote it through our section, and honestly, the attendance was pretty small, and I attribute that to, I'm a fan of continuity and consistency, and so you really want to give things the effort it's due. It's not like, well, we tried that once, it didn't work, and we stopped doing it. No, we're not a believer in that. Tom Son and I, we believe in staying the course and developing some consistency and some continuity to something. It could take years before it gets we could be doing this thing twice a year and for 4 years before we see the numbers we really want to see. But we're committed to staying the course and promoting the brand and making sure that opportunity is available. And a big part of that promotion is not just sending out emails to PGA members and associates. It's about getting the section member by member to stand behind it and see the value in it. And again, I know 3, just in my immediate circle of employment, I know 3 level 1 associates, and only one of them, I think, is moving through the program at any kind of positive rate. The other 2 aren't doing a thing. And here I am. I'm the section education committee chair. Education is the focus of my service, and I'm working hand in hand with 2 people that aren't doing a thing for level 1, and I'm allowing it to happen. And it falls on mentorship, it falls on consistency, and it falls on holding our mentees, our associates, accountable for what they're trying to do with their career vocationally. So a big part of wanting to talk about the Launchpad today with all of you is to say, hey, level 1 associates that are going through the program, whether they're going through the program at a successful rate or whether they're sitting on their hands, you have a role in that. And we're asking you to challenge them not only to take their work seriously, but make it quantifiable, make it measurable, make them take the Launchpad educational series that's coming up here February 15th. Have them go through it level by level, book by book, and talk to them about it, engage with them about it, hold them accountable. And those that falls into the mentorship program, it's our responsibility as members to give back and help associates the same way that we were helped when we were going through the program. Because I question all of us. Very few of us picked up the PGA vocational career choice and just ran through it without any personal mentoring or guidance from anybody. Probably none of us did that. So the purpose, the why, why the Launchpad? Well, it's to help PGA associates complete their level 1 work experience activities and prepare the associates for level 1 testing. The mission, the how, to provide an online classroom for level 1 associates led by recent graduates and newly elected PGA members to guide associates through the work experience activities and related trainings of level 1 PGM program. The quantifiables and the measurables. Well, long term, we need to look at the SoCal section level 1 associates completing level 1. I mean, it's the opportunity, the low hanging fruit is there, and by tracking the associates that take the Launchpad seriously, that lay out a curriculum, take our curriculum, go through the program, that's how we're going to see the success of this. We're going to see the numbers get better in terms of suspended associates going down, Launchpad attendees going through the program, going through our program, that number going up, and then, over time, the suspended associate count in the section going down. I'm going to take a peek at the question box. Nothing. Okay, so for the spring Launchpad, we have recruited many of the same instructors, and I think all but 2 are new to the Launchpad faculty for the spring. We have Jeffrey Brothers at the crossings at Carlsbad, who's covering business planning, which those of you that may or may not know Jeffrey Brothers, he is a diamond in the rough. His business prowess, his attention to detail. I mean, his presentation when he did business planning in the fall was amazing. I mean, the Launchpad series is supposed to be about an hour-long class each Monday afternoon, and Jeff's presentation went on for an hour and 45 minutes, and it was breathtaking, the depth and the width of his business knowledge and how he owns his job there at the crossings. And I am a personal friend of Tate Stulls, and I reached out to Tate. I was like, "You've got something special in Jeffrey." So Jeffrey is kicking off the Launchpad series for the spring on the 15th of this month with business planning once again. The week after that, we've got section champion Kyle Mendoza, who's going to be addressing coaching. Paul Sumagase is going to be covering rules on the 1st of March. Nikki Pritchard, customer service, Tom Parker. Colonel Tom Parker out of PGA West is going to be doing tournament operations, which is very relevant because he is the tournament director there at the PGA West Resort Course. Heather King is coming on. She's going to be doing career enhancement. Stephen Lynn, court fleet management, and Michael Gainey is going to be rounding it out on April 5th with player development. And again, we did this in the fall. We're going to do it starting on the 15th of February, and we're going to do it again in the summer. And it's just going to be this, the idea is this quarterly rampage of, Tom, is that you?
Sorry, John, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Tom is chomping at the bit to get in here, which here we are, the mentorship program. Tom, can you hear us? Have you unmuted?
Yes, John, I've unmuted.
She's all yours. Why don't you tell the attendees this morning on the webcast about the mentorship program, what its nature is, and what you see, where you see it going on a section level, on a District 11 level, on a national level. Take it away.
Thank you, John. I appreciate the introduction. I just wanted to, first of all, thank you for your leadership and providing these educational platforms for our professionals in the section. So appreciate all your efforts, and it's been a lot of fun working with you on the Launchpad. Just to add what John said before I go into the mentorship program, what's exciting about the Launchpad is not only what John mentioned, but also the fact that we were able to connect with the Southwest section, and in the process of connecting with the Northern California section, along with the Loa section within our district, to allow not only our associates from the SCPGA section to participate, but also to allow the associates in those three sections, our partners, to join as well. I think this is a great initiative. I think a lot of associates in those 4 sections hopefully will benefit from the Launchpad. And I'm really looking forward to working with John to expand and grow a Launchpad, not only for a section, but to those 3 sections I mentioned earlier as well. So that's a very exciting news. Now going back to the mentorship program, I think it's important to just give you some background on why it was an initiative for me to start this mentorship program for the San Diego chapter. When I became a member of PGA September of 2019, which is only about a year and a half ago. But through the associate program, the 2 years it took me to become a member, there weren't any platforms in place for associates to reach out to receive any assistance or guidance or advice during my 2 years. But I made an effort to reach out to the leaders of the section with Tom Addis, Jeff Johnson, Nikki Gatch, Robin Shelton, Eric Lohman, Randy Chang, and John Kulow. All these people I reached out to when I was an associate were great. They were so very helpful, very friendly, and allowed me to see them as my mentors in becoming a member of the PGA. So that was great to get that experience, but I had to reach out myself. I had to show my own initiative to make that happen. So then I thought, after I became a member, I was talking to another member, and he mentioned to me, he's like, there's one thing that would be great if for the PGA is to maybe start a real genuine mentorship program where each one member is assigned to one associate, mentor-mentee, and start a relationship where it's not only about getting through the PGA portfolio, but also about building long-term and meaningful and relevant relationships between the mentor and mentees. And this kind of hit me, and I was like, wow, that's really, you're right. We really need to take care of our associates better. So with the blessing from Ross Marcano, president of our chapter, we started the mentorship program in July of 2020, which is 8 months ago. It started out as what I did was I reached out to all the members and associates within the chapter by email, explaining what the mentorship program was all about, and asking for volunteers to become mentor-mentees. Initially, the feedback was good. We had about a little over 10 mentor-mentees, 20 members and associates volunteer for the mentorship program. And we initially started off with a competitive event in July at Arrowwood to just physically meet and to get to know each other and network with each other and have fun, having playing golf, as well as having some food and drinks afterwards. So that's how it started in July. And then as what it entailed was about monthly meetings. So each member and mentee is required to meet once a month. And then what I do is send a monthly feedback questionnaire, which they complete and send back to me, which I keep track of on a monthly basis, and all the feedback I received for the last 8 months. So I have a story of each of the relationship between the mentor and mentee, and it's been a great fulfilling experience to witness to these relationships building and really helping each other as professionals of PGA. So that's what the genesis of it, and that's what we're doing in terms of the monthly meetings. We do have quarterly events that I mentioned earlier. We had a quarterly event not only at Arrow but also at the Grand Del Mar. Sean Cox was gracious enough to host our second competitive event. We had over 40 people, professionals, show up for that event. And right now, it's grown to over 50 mentors and mentees, 25, members and associates each. It's growing by the week, and a lot of great success stories to tell. It would take me a lot of time to explain it, but there's another call on February 18th, 2 weeks from today, which we'll talk more specifically about all the success stories of the mentorship program, how we're going to try to build it out, not only for the chapter of San Diego, but also for the whole entire section of SCPGA. So that's basically the background of mentorship program, as well as the details of it on a monthly basis. It's been a quite experience for me to experience this program grow. I'm looking forward to growing into the section, maybe our partner sections in Aloha district as well. So we will encourage you to reach out to John and me if you have any questions about the mentorship program specifically. You have my email address, my phone number. Very looking forward to helping you and hopefully growing the mentorship program for your chapter as well. That's it from me, John.
Thank you, Mr. Sun. Appreciate it, sir, and thank you for the kind words. And it's truly been my pleasure to work alongside you. And I think you and I, it's safe to say that we're just getting started. So, Tom, if you want to go ahead and mute your phone, I know that you're at the club right now. There we go. Okay, thank you, everybody. Skipped over a slide along the way. Wanted to lay out the Q1 and a little bit into the beginning of Q2, the presenter lineup for the Catalyst. I want to acknowledge the presenters that we've had so far this year. Craig Kessler, Director of Governmental Affairs for the SCPGA. It's kind of becoming a tradition for Craig to kick off the year for us. He always does the first Catalyst of the year, and very relevant this year because obviously he's got his finger on the pulse in terms of what COVID has been doing to the golf industry and the changes and the updates. I know we all see the SCPGA emails that come out. TA also sends one out, keeping us abreast with the ever-changing and fluid environment of the COVID-19 and what its impact is on the golf industry. And I'm definitely a glasses half empty kind of guy. I'm sorry, a glasses half full kind of guy. And I think that we're definitely closer to the end of this thing than we are to the beginning. And it looks as if there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. So I want to acknowledge and thank Mr. Craig Kessler and, of course, Tom Addis for all of your relays and updates and the information that you've been passing on to us regarding the ever-fluid environment of COVID-19. So Craig Kessler starts off the Catalyst for us at the beginning of January. President Robin Shelton came on and presented as well a couple weeks back. Last week, someone who's near and dear to me, Mr. Zeb Wellborn, presented on the Catalyst webinar series on social media and how that could drive revenue for clubs and courses. And to promote Zeb, we have at Monterey began using his services and to drive awareness to the club in terms of picking up new members and building our pipeline and having our Facebook and our Instagram gain and grow in relevance. And Zeb, he makes it easy, because to give Zeb a little plug, so many clubs are like, okay, who's in charge of your Instagram and your Facebook? Well, we have an employee here who's the champion for that. And, you put someone in charge of it and they run with it for a while, but then they get busy with other tasks and life goes on and life goes by. And before you know it, it's not prioritized the way it is if you have a standalone individual that's driving that for you. And Zeb Wilborn, he does that for so many of our clubs and courses around the section, particularly in the Inland Empire. And we are seeing the successes of employing his services at Monterey just since the year began. Coming up next week, we have Susie Whaley, PGA Honorary President of America. She's going to be coming on, and that will be one of our Q&A type catalysts. We don't, Susie actually won't do a presentation for us with a PowerPoint, but we will have a somewhat open forum through the question box here on GoToWebinar, interviewing Susie, gaining her insight and learning about her experiences. And the week after that, Tom Sun, who you just heard, is going to come on and do a full-on hour focusing on promoting the mentorship program. And very exciting. Last night, Tom was on an open a town hall meeting with the Southwest section talking about the mentorship program. Last night, we hooked Tom in with Wes in the Aloha section and with Lynn up in the NorCal section to see if we could start taking this mentorship program to the next level in terms of District 11 and beyond. So Tom will be doing that in 2 weeks. After that, we've got Andy Tooney, who's going to be doing a long-term, 4, 5, 6-part focus. Andy's, knowledge, the depth of his knowledge on the history of the game is immense, arguably the best in the section. And he's a fabulous storyteller as well. He's come on and done sections of the history of the game for us. Of course, Catalyst is only an hour long, so Andy runs out of time pretty quick. So we could have, seriously, a 10-parter. We could have him come on once a month doing the history of the game. That'll be a fun one. You want to attend that one. Then after that, we've got the enigma, the genius of Russell Silty, general manager at Hacienda Golf Club, who's going to be coming on talking about raising the question: is a growth mindset worth it? You will not want to miss that one for sure. Jeff Jones, after that, the reality of racial diversity in the golf industry. Tom Karpus, PGA Tour rules official, and then our own TA coming on to talk about 2021 expectations. Dave Potus beyond that with the rules of golf, and then Ken Farrell talking about career enhancement in a post-COVID world. That takes us. Those are all consecutive weeks there, for the exception of the first 2 weeks in April that are open still. But definitely more to come there. To see the full lineup, please visit the landing page at scpga.com. You can also access past catalysts there that you may have missed. A good thing that, again, Jeff Johnson was the champion for this. Every week, the Catalyst had a quiz. And in order to get the MSR, not only did you have to attend the Catalyst, you also had to take the 10-question quiz and submit it and get a passing score of 70% in order to get the MSR. To promote the growth of the Catalyst program, if you are on the live webcast, you get the 1 MSR credit automatically. You are not required to take the quiz. The quiz is required for those that are accessing past Catalysts through the SCPGA landing page, taking the Catalyst after the fact. Those MSR credits still require the quiz, justly. So that is a benefit of the program, in addition to it being a weekly endeavor and not a bi-weekly endeavor. Looking at the time, it is 8:44. I'm going to flip over to our panel. Jeff Johnson, Nikki Gatch, Tom Addis. Is there anything the three of you would like to add to this morning's Catalyst? Comments, questions, statements?
Yeah, John, first of all, thank you. Thanks to you and Tom for just extraordinary work. I'd sent a message just as information regarding our section and the number of associates. We have 163 currently. And of those 163, 265 associates in our section. And of those 265, 163 are in level 1, and 54 are in level 2, and 48 are in level 3, totaling 265. And 48 in level 3 will soon, very soon, be on the horizon to become PGA members and hopefully new mentors. And I think, again, what you and Tom have done is extraordinary. And it's wonderful what you've created, and those 48 members that will be graduating soon and elected to membership are going to be yet another resource for all of the others in levels 1 and 2 to be inspired by. So thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Jeff, for those numbers. And
thanks, John, but I appreciate what you're, this Tom, and appreciate what you're doing, both you and Tom and the committee, and look forward to the future and participating. I think your idea of the bringing the districts in is really, really good, and will prove to be, I believe, successful. So congratulations, and thanks for thinking of all that, and thanks for what you're doing. Thanks.
Thank you, TA. Well, thanks for your leadership and thanks for your promotion and all your networking and all your efforts. And again, like I said, the Catalyst would not be going the direction it is going without your direct finger on the pulse. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
Those are all the questions. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to make one last comment, a phrase that maybe is too well worn for me, but these opportunities to be smarter exist every Thursday because of what you're doing with Catalyst. And, you know, the extraordinary speakers we have and the gift that Tom brings to the table and being able to procure a lot of these talented people to speak to us should never be overlooked. It's really a gift. And as we all, whether we're associates or PGA members, we're all essentially looking after one another and all trying to just get a little smarter together. And I just can't say enough about how wonderful a program not only Catalyst is, but also the mentor program that you and Tom have been so instrumental in creating. So.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you, everybody. Want to remind everybody that next week, Susie Whaley, Honorary President of the PGA of America, is going to be on the Catalyst. Please join us. We'll be getting some marketing going for that shortly. It will be a Q&A interview-style Catalyst, which those are always fun and spontaneous. So we're definitely looking forward to that. So the YouTube recording of this morning's Catalyst will be going out here shortly. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the Catalyst webinar series. Thank you for supporting the section. Thank you for taking your education seriously. Stay safe, stay sane. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.